What are we calling this? Is this a podcast?
Red. It's Clash. Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. This is Reddit Talks Clash. It is a podcast, as Bash has asked probably close to 30 times now, if you're a long-time listener. Here we are, Town Hall 17 Eve. Happy Town Holidays, I can say, if we're going with the dad joke route. All right, I'll start by saying, hey, we have the world-famous Clash Bashing fresh off of his performance cast in the Worlds. That was a hell of a job, man. I was so happy to see you got the call for that. But looking forward, how hyped are you for Town Hall 17?
Definitely super hyped. I mean, it's always the best time of year right now where we all get excited, get our hopes up, get our dreams up, and hopefully they follow through and our hopes and dreams become even bigger hopes and dreams, and then we're fulfilled to the fullest, and Town Hall 17 is a big success. And then we do this next year, and we're talking about how fun 17 was going into Town Hall 18.
You and I have had hands-on with 17 for most of the month. Sam, Liam, you guys, it's all pretty fresh. So initial reactions.
We've been dreaming about it.
Yeah, Liam, you?
Always, yeah. This has been on my nightmare and heaven fantasy.
I know. I'll say I'm a little more trepidatious, a little more unsure about this one. I don't think it's gonna be bad.
I think it looks like an improvement.
Yeah, it's mostly felt like a lot of more of the same for now. But I guess we'll kind of get into that. So here's the plan for everyone listening. I think let's start out. What we need to do is probably say goodbye to Town Hall 16.
Riddance.
Yeah, I echo that sentiment.
All right, let's do this. Let's say, what did Town Hall 16 get right? What did it get wrong? And then kind of like, how do you think we're gonna remember 16? Like what's the long-term legacy of 16?
What did 16 get right? Oh my goodness. 16 got a few things right, but also a few things right too late, in my opinion. So
yeah,
hard mode changes were incredible for the esports scene, and also people that want to try, competitive Clash of Clans and that kind of stuff. The hard mode changes were amazing. The Supercharges were great, but I want to elaborate on that later. I'm sure you and I will talk about that, Rick, because I know we share some similar opinions on that. The Supercharges were amazing. But honestly, oh God, I'm not going to be a very good Supercell pet here. That's what they call us. I think Town Hall 16 was a big failure for most of it. I think it was very easy for most of it. We progressed too fast through it, and it left a lot of people bored, wanting more. So I think the Town Hall 16 could have been much, much better. And that's why I'm very optimistic for 17. There's so many changes coming in. We kind of have that groundwork for a better Town Hall. So I'm hopeful that things improve going into next year.
Yeah, that's one way to look at it, I guess. Like 16, I know. I think equipment is fun, and it's a good idea, and we needed that variability. But I don't think it was implemented in a great way. That can be fixed, though. Like, you fix, or you give us a chance to actually, like, upgrade most of the stuff. And you stop, like, flooding us with new equipment all the time, like, trying to avoid the power creep. I don't know that they're going to be capable of that, but I think equipment was a good addition, implemented poorly. 16, like, legacy-wise, I don't know. I don't want to be dramatic, but, like, if there's not big direction changes, I think in a couple of years we could look back at, like, 16 being, like, the start of the downfall. Because everything was a lot more heavily monetized. Like, equipment's monetized. We got event passes. We got apprentice builders. We're getting another second helper, for even more gems, 8,500 gems for the lab assistant. It's just, everything's felt like Clash was in this huge panic after Town Hall 15. They're scrambling for a million ways to monetize, and It's not. It hasn't been going smooth. Sam, how do you feel?
Honestly, I don't know if there's too much more I can add. I do agree. Equipment as a concept and even its implementation as just as the equipment itself was good. I think it gave a lot more variety of attacks and it has been fun. The way you had to get equipment, the like you said, the drag, how much came out so quickly, and the thing that really annoyed me was how if you didn't get it during the event, you had to spend gems. And sure, you can get gems who's free to play, but really it's just punishing players who didn't play at that time, which is weird because like they didn't do anything wrong. They're just being punished because they didn't happen to play the game at the time. It was too easy. It was boring. Hard mode kind of helped, but it didn't really address it overall. And yeah, I think it's hard to say how we look back on because I feel like, for example, if you think about Town 14 even, people thought that was easy. And now you look back at it, you think, oh no, Town 14 kind of alright compared to this. So I think it's a bit too early to maybe predict its legacy because we don't know what's going to come next. But yeah, I don't think it's going to be looked on favorably, especially with the monetization aspects. I mean, one thing you didn't mention was also the gold pass changes. I mean, there was just so many things like that which you just thought, God, like, are they in a really bad spot financially right now? And you do kind of have to wonder.
Was that realistically the thing people were thinking, was Clash was in a bad financial spot? I mean, yes, we did take the heavy monetization route. I guess that's a whole different tangent, maybe a whole different podcast we could even talk about. I mean, I think as the games progress, it's natural to take that monetization route. But like the monetization that Clash has is nothing compared to some of the other games that I've played in my career.
Even compared to, say, Clash Royale, which is another Supercell game, it is a lot more tame, but I think it just became noticeably more impactful and obvious that they were really pushing for it this town hall compared to others.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I think at times 16 was good, but yeah, I think a lot of the things we said, I think a lot of people feel that way. And that's why I say, I mean, don't get me wrong, I still logged on every single day, did my Legends League attacks, looked forward to it. I mean, I still do that every single, well, I guess not right now because I'm trying to drop out of Legends, but like I log on, Clash is still my favorite game, but I noticed like within my clan, within my communities at 16, the activity was definitely way down.
Yeah, I don't think there was any like real outward signaling that it was like financially in trouble, but just interpreting, trying to make sense of all the new monetization and spending pressures that have been brought this last year. That's the conclusion I reached, at least. But I don't know. But like you were saying, I still had fun. I had a blast at 16. Yeah, like triples were high. We had a lot of draws. There were things that were frustrating and a little disappointing, but I played Clash as much as ever. Like all the events were always fun. Event troops are fun. Introduced the frustrating balance aspects during those months, but I don't know. Pros and cons. Overall, it wasn't a bad town hall. It was fun, and it's a good base for them to build on from here into 17. Which, let's start talking about 17. Let's open with the Minion Prince. So, available Town Hall 9 and up. Everyone's being given free levels, which is cool. When we first got it revealed, you were off doing cool caster stuff, but they neglected to mention like that. Hey, like you're being given levels. So I saw like the pull up the screen. We're hyped. We're talking about the update. We're seeing it for the first time, and then I see like the level on the new hero, and I don't remember the next 5 minutes because I was just so mad thinking about.
I mean, I do recall seeing leaks of it being 90 levels as well. I know in reality it's 70, but people were freaking out.
Yeah, it will max at Town Hall 17 at level 90, and it's real easy to keep track of. They did make it pretty simple, just 10 levels per Town Hall from Town Hall 9 on. So you get 10 at Town Hall 9. Up to level 20 at Town Hall 10, etc., etc. But man, I was just like, you are kidding me that I'm not going to be able to use this hero for a year, which I think total upgrade time is over a year for these 90 levels. So new players, who cares about them?
Yeah, honestly, I don't.
Wow.
I'm kidding.
No, I don't think you were. That sounded sincere. These Reddit guys, I'll tell you, chat.
Like it was like an afterthought in like because like they did a Town Hall 17 presentation, and then there's a Q&A, and it was like halfway through the Q&A where they're like, oh yeah, by the way, like here's the hero hall, here's how it works, and you guys will all get a level 70 Minion Prince. And it was like, oh, okay, cool. And I could relax, and my heart rate dropped, and I could see regular colors again. But overall, Bash, like, what's your take on the Minion Prince?
I think he's definitely going to be really, really cool. Obviously, like, I'm no pro or anything like that, but I think as an air support unit, I think this sets up for air to make a really, really strong comeback. I mean, dragons were already big coming into Town Hall 17 from Town Hall 16. Like, we started to see like dragons kind of play into that meta a little bit more. And I think this is just going to support like a dragon, E-dragon, super dragon, like whatever dragon you want to use, you could definitely use with this Minion Prince. But not only that, like the utility of that dark orb, I think people are going to find some really, really creative things to do with that dark orb, just because like being able to slow down such a wide section of the base, like that's so huge. I mean, so I think yeah, obviously great, amazing air support unit. But I think like that once a lot of people get their hands on this, especially like some of the pros, we're gonna see some really fun things done with this new hero. I also love how they handled the 5 hero mechanics, which I think we were all worried about, like having 5 heroes is gonna be too much, but being able to like cycle in whatever 4 heroes you want and like making it fit whatever attack strategy you want. For me, that's a huge W, is like them handling the changing of heroes like that. I don't want to say he's completely different and unique, because he's not like that unique, but he is completely different. Yeah. Like only like all air hero. Obviously, Rick, you and I talked about this. Like we're always optimistic going into a new Town Hall, but I'm really optimistic about this new hero for me personally.
I'm not seeing it yet. It feels like it's not bad by any means. I haven't really sussed out what niche it's gonna fill, and every time I'm staring at my army screen, like I'm not confident that I know which hero is best to switch out in. So it feels like it's gonna be like the best way I've personally found to use it is just throw it in with a bunch of drags, hope that it's aimed right when the ability goes off. I don't know, like it's hard to give up the King's equipment. It's hard to give up the cleanup ability and finishing a base of the RC. It kind of feels like it feels blasphemous after 12 years of Clash, but I think more times than not I'm giving up the Queen to bring it in. What about you?
Ew. Giving up the Queen? Like the single strongest offensive unit in the game?
Not like if there's not like giant arrow value and I'm doing a dragon attack, your Queen is like an outside funnel essentially. Like,
but you don't need dragon value. Like Mirror and Healer Puppet, like her being able to spawn her own healers now is insane, especially for an air attack. You recall her, you just do the old set up one side, recall her, set her up on the other side, and then run everything up the middle. Oh my goodness, it's so good.
Then what else are you giving up? You're certainly not giving up the Warden on
the King. You don't need the King. You're gonna treat it like a Queen walk.
Funneling.
Yeah, but
spiky
like
ball
dude,
though with the King.
Yeah, dude, the spiky ball, the earthquake boots. Like, I don't know, that's a huge funneling thing for dragons.
I think this is the weird part of the whole thing, though, is that in our heads we've all got such defined roles for all the current 4 heroes that swapping one out for a 5th one just seems so weird. You think, like, I feel like I'm losing a really integral part of, like, the whole attacking phase, because they all fill such a different role, and they almost all have that role in different attacks. It's just weird to even think about swapping one out.
Think of like the hero equipment. It was a similar situation where we're like, oh, like I'm never not going to use the Eternal Tome on the Grand Warden. Now, like look at Clash Worlds, barely any of the pros used Eternal Tome throughout it. I think like as the meta evolves, attack strategies develop, we'll definitely see some other things. I mean, when my attack in my video today, I took the Warden completely out of the attack for the Minion Prince, and it worked fine. I mean, it was
shocking.
I didn't think that would be a thing, but yeah, kind of just subbing in that damage with my dragons, using the King to set up one side, with the barracks to support, using the Queen to set up the other side. and then RC to help clean up with the king. Like I didn't really need the warden as much. Maybe it would have been nice to have him, and I probably could have still 3-starred the base and 3-starred it easier with the warden. Who's to say? But I think there's a lot of things that can change in with the new meta.
I'm kind of focusing on dragons right now, just because like dragons are the only core troops that got solid levels. Am I sending the Minion Prince with my warden and with all my drags? It feels, I don't know. Like it's hard to decide what to give up. Lower levels, like starting Town Hall 9, 10, 11, I think like giving up the king is an easy call down there. And obviously on defense, we're losing the warden, right?
No, he's still there.
Well, no, I mean like when you're making the choice to swap out what hero is defending,
okay, yeah.
You're swapping out the warden, right? Like universally.
Wouldn't you swap out the king?
Yeah,
on
I was gonna
defense?
say, is it universal? The warden, like if you get that warden, like he can pack a punch, man.
Dude, I'd rather have. Dude, it's Clash of Dragons at every level right now. So like the
Yeah, and
king,
with that being said, you take out the king.
yeah, I don't like the king has that HP, but I don't like.
I don't. I'm always much more scared of a warden than I am a king. Like even if I'm doing say a queen charge, a warden. If I'm not paying attention properly, a warden can kill a queen through her ability, for example. If you're
Dude,
using that ability. I mean, I don't know. I've never worried about the king.
the one is useless on defense. All it does is mess up
What?
wall breakers. This is the only thing a defensive warden has ever done for me is destroy a super wall breaker.
You did a lot of queen charge attacks, Vic.
Not lately.
I do get your point though. Even with dragons, I could see the merit of a defensive king because they'd at least distract the dragons and give them something high HP to kill, while other defenses could, deal damage. But I don't think it's universal like you've presumed.
Oh, I bet, dude. 6 months from now, like I
Really?
guarantee
How much?
you will not
How
have
much?
seen I don't know, a gold pass.
Sure, 6
All right.
months.
All right, dude, you will not have seen a defensive warden on a base at Town Hall 17. I guarantee it.
Okay, let's say in 6 months' time, in my legend sets, if I see a single defensive warden in every 8,
Well, don't take
then,
me literally.
No, I'm taking you literally. I'm taking you literally. You're keeping to your word.
Dude, like like I'm telling you, it'll be rare to see wardens on defense.
Okay.
All right. Okay, Bash, lower town halls. How do you see the Minion Prince fitting in?
I honestly think he fits in even better at lower town halls. I mean, we already see a lot of, I don't even want to say it, but E-Drag spammers at lower town
Yeah.
halls. I feel like he supports that even better. I think we still have that same issue what you're talking about. It's like what to change out. And I think that's just going to be like one of those mental obstacles we're going to have to get past. And once we start seeing what he can actually do and how he develops, when he gets more equipment introduced, I think it's going to be like no-brainer choices. If you're like a dragon or air attacker, like Minion Prince needs to be worked in there one way or another. So I think at the lower town halls, I didn't get to test him as much as I would like at the lower town halls, going to be fully transparent. For me personally, I think he's going to fit in there maybe even better than the higher town halls.
The thing that disappoints me at lower town halls too is like it's gonna drive the dragon thing even more, and there's so much better and more fun attacks in my opinion, and just an air only hero that really fits in more with dragons. It just reinforces that, and I don't know. I think people are missing out, but that's just me being nostalgic and a grumpy old man.
But what defines a fun attack? Like
Hogs, man. People need to learn hogs.
But why do they need to learn hog?
Because hogs are fun, and yeah, and it makes like just seeing people do drags at Town Hall 7 and drags at Town Hall 8 and 9 and 10. Like I'm sad that they're missing a fun part of the game.
But again, that's very subjective. Like just because something is fun to you doesn't mean it's not fun to someone else.
Well, yeah, I get that.
Like some people are just satisfied with 3-starring a base any way possible.
I know.
Not everyone has big competitive, I want to do different thing ambitions.
Yeah. It's boring.
No, I get it. I get like trying to branch out, but I find myself also falling into that window where I'm just using the same attack over and over. So
I know.
I get where you're coming from. It's fun to experiment and try different stuff. And this kind of like may pigeonhole people into being even less creative. working their way up.
Yeah. No, I know clashes. There's a lot of different things you can do, and people get tunnel visioned in and do one thing. Like I know people who had a real bad time with like root riders getting nerfed too, and like we'll switch up your attack. And there's a lot of people who just aren't willing to do that. And in just training people that drags are the way to go through the whole game now, I don't know. Like I think it's gonna lead to worse outcomes down the line, especially with when people start hitting that wall at Town Hall 12 and 13 where things get really long and really boring and a little harder. I don't know. Now I'm ready. Like I grew up in the era where like Town Hall 8 was like the separated. Like Town Hall 8 turned boys to men, where you had to get away from dragons. You had to figure out hogs if you wanted a high success rate. Town Hall 9 was tough, and you had to do hogs.
Time out. And whenever have you not been able to use dragons at Town Hall 8?
Town Hall 8 back in like 2014 was like you could do dragons, but it wasn't
okay, like
it
2
wasn't
years
like,
after the
you
game
could
came
do
out.
It. Yeah, a long time ago.
Jesus, boomer.
The past, living in the past. Grew up,
I mean,
man.
I started playing literally January 2015, and like 7. I guess I did use hogs at Town Hall 8 because I have videos of me using hogs at Town Hall 8.
Like you might have missed Peak Clash then.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah.
Peak Clash was when Town Hall 10 was max, and trying to play as a Town Hall 9, like that was Peak Clash for me personally.
Okay, Minion Prince's equipment. Like how impressed with the equipment selection that we get to start.
I think the Henchman is kind of like meh. It's just there. I think it's like a very generic thing.
Yeah, it is. Generic is the word like that's been in my head.
Yeah, and I think that's fair and valid. I don't think it's anything special. I mean, it's a barbarian puppet. It's an archer puppet. It's that redone. But the Dark Orb, I think, is a complete game changer. I think it's absolutely insane how good this equipment can be, potentially. Freezing up such a wide portion of the base, 6 tiles wide, or is it even wider than that? Is it 8 tiles? I don't even remember. I should probably have the notes in front of me.
It's 5 or 6 because they were doing.
I think it's
like
6.
So. It's displayed as 6 right now. Itsu said in his video 5 there was testing done in the dev build 2-3 days ago to change it 5 or 6. I don't know where they finally landed. So it's 5 or 6 right now. But it's one of those two.
Yeah, but if you aim it right, you can get 3 buildings wide, essentially.
Yeah, I think either way, it's still,
crazy. I guess the one thing that does kind of save it from being absolutely broken is it's only 18 seconds. But at the same time, 18 seconds, when you have a herd of dragons or a herd of balloons running through the middle of a base, and all those defenses are slowed for those 18 seconds while they're raged up, absolutely making a tear through the base, I think that's pretty massive for me personally.
In a way, that's kind of like a big freeze, because it's like double the duration of a freeze, but working at half the speed. But it's a massive area.
It's a bit like the freeze or frost spell or whatever from Clan Capital, if you think of it that way.
Yeah. Have you picked up any tricks for how to use it more effectively that people might find useful, as we start Town Hall 17 soon?
I think the big thing is like trying to use it at the right time. I think it's going to be all about timing. Like I said, with those 18 seconds, I think it's good. Like I was playing with it, like using it kind of right away as I put the dragons in, and then also like mid attack. And it's really just about like where those dragons are on the base, and then also like there's so many factors that factor into it. Also, like if you have Warden in there as well, if you're running Minion Prince alone, like there's so many different variations to what can go into it. Really,
it's easy to screw up and miss too, because it's because he's tiny, he gets hidden behind balloons and drags, and if there's a big clump of stuff in the core, a lot of times you're not going to be able to tell which direction he's looking. And you pop that ability where you think you're getting a lot of value in the core, and it's going to go sideways sometimes. So you can't always count on that. It's also not like the giant arrow too, where you can get away with using it too early. What I've been doing is trying to delay him a little bit, and then when he's traveling, you can get a better idea of the lineup, and he'll still catch up to stuff in the core. Again, there's downsides to that too. Like he can get easily distracted by something off to the side.
Yeah, but I think it's also a little bit more forgiving. Like if you're not going in with like a detailed, like kind of how you do with the giant arrow, where you have like a set target in mind. If you're not going in with like where you need to use that early because you have X target in mind, it can be a little bit more forgiving, assuming he's not, completely turned to the side or something. Like you can get away with kind of shooting it through the middle of the base and slowing down like just a core section of the base and having a lot of success with that.
Yeah, it's just it's gonna be tough to target, and you're gonna have to just through repetition get a feel for it. Anything else that we think we want to hit on with Minion Prince?
I mean, we could probably talk about them all day, but I think
Yeah.
maybe we circle back if we have time.
Quality of life stuff. There's probably not a ton going here. Hard mode, persisting through challenges, like so it'll save your selection for hard mode. That's nice. I get tired of checking that little box. The cooldowns are a little different for Legend, but not really significant. Arch Queen Town Hall 8. I told you how disappointed I am with the state of Town Hall 8, so I don't know. Like people probably love that. It's nice in a way that it distributes your Dark Elixir need, but Town Hall 8 died a while ago anyway. It's just
It just sounds so wrong. Arch Queen at Town Hall 8. I mean, what's even going on there?
But here's the thing that I want you to speculate on too. They went through all this trouble to move the queen down. We have the new hero hall, a whole new UI. They built a whole new system for exchanging heroes. Are they going to stop at
So
5
lots of new heroes are coming.
Are they going to stop at 5 heroes, do you think?
No, absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
There's a lot more coming.
Yeah, I agree.
And I don't think it'll be as bad as the equipment, right? Equipment came out too fast, too much. I mean, I still imagine they'll restrict, heroes to a new town hall, or at least still only release a new hero with a new town hall. But it could be every town hall now. You might not be waiting every other or even longer, like we've just done.
A 6th hero would make sense to come at Town Hall 10, or Town Hall 6 hero that you can unlock day 1.
Oh, no. Let's not be too crazy yet.
Don't give him ideas, Vic.
The Builder's Apprentice icon is removed from the Town Hall into the new building, the Helper Hut. So Builder Apprentice and the Lab Assistant, the second helper, 8,500 gems, but it takes off 12 hours a day from the lab, essentially. Or is it 11? With the way it works is it takes an hour?
It's 12 and a half, actually.
Oh, okay. So roughly call it a 50% cut to the overall lab time at max level.
Which, okay, I have to say is like weird because I've never had a problem with my lab. I always finish my lab way before I finish my building. So to me, I don't even see the point of getting it.
It's to help the struggling new players, Sam.
Yeah, no, but I don't even mean just like at the max town hall. I mean through every single town hall I have played through, I've always maxed my lab before the rest of my buildings.
That's not true because there used to be a real big bottleneck, especially at the mid town halls in the laboratory. I think it was even Town Hall 14. There's a crazy bottleneck. I think they've managed that a lot better with cost reductions lately. Like the cost reductions have definitely been insane, which there's more cost reductions coming. But I kind of agree. I don't think he's going to be essential. I mean, I don't even think the Apprentice Builder is essential to like upgrade and max out. I think it's a nice like tool, but
to be fair, it might just be because I buy the gold pass and I'll always have a book of fighting and I'll always have Cedar Rail medals to spend on hammers.
Like the whole culture of upgrading is kind of evolved around like we all know the lab takes longer and we just have it kind of baked into our thought process already that like, hey, a lot of the magic items need to go toward the lab if that's something you want to keep up on.
That's
so now we get to rethink that. Like you can spend half of the total. Like if you spend 4,000-ish gems on the lab assistant, you get 2/3 of the value. You can get 8 hours a day done. So that's still a 1/3 cut overall to the lab. That brings it down way more in line with everything else. And then now that frees up, like you're not buying research potions as much, and you get CW elementals for something else.
One thing we didn't talk about though is for free you get him for 1 hour, which that's a very welcome change. I think there's a lot of backlash about the Apprentice Builder being 500 gems to even use. So him being free right up the gate, even if you don't want to invest in just having that hour each day, I think that's a huge welcome change for the community. I think a lot of people are going to appreciate that. Yeah, and then like as you're working through, removing those gem boxes, unlocking achievements, maybe you do have 500 gems and you want to put it into them. I think I think that's a nice thing, but I don't think the lab is as crazy as it used to be with the cost reductions for me personally. I mean, even the builder, I mean, right now, like, until you get to like 13, 14, 15, like the town, like upgrades just go so quick right now, and they're going to go even quicker with more cost reductions. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's essential to essentially invest into those guys unless you have like a surplus of gems laying around. Like on none of my accounts do I have a max apprentice builder, even my main account, which I always go crazy spending on.
Yeah, I guess in my head, I've always focused on getting the lab done quickly. So maybe my thought of the lab being quicker is the fact that I always spend a lot of magic items on it, and even just the three the three research potions you can get from raid medals. I mean, all that stuff has made it gone a lot quicker. So
Yeah.
maybe I've just got recency bias here, but at the moment it doesn't feel like we needed more lab help. Put it that way.
It's gonna be real nice for newer players, and I think a lot of that because the lab assistant unlocks at channel 9 ish, right? It's later. It's later in the game. You don't get it from day one, so you should be at the point of the game where like you've bought all your builders, and then now you get to upgrade the builder's apprentice and the lab assistant gradually as you go through these levels. Like for new players, I think it's pretty helpful.
Yeah, and I think there's also like I see in the comments a lot of time, hey Bash, I'm Town Hall 13. I have everything maxed except for walls and 4 upgrades in my lab. Should I upgrade? So I
Oh
think
yeah,
some players don't put that emphasis on the laboratory like like more seasoned players do, or players that are more like trying to be competitive do. So I think it is a good way to kind of balance that and help those players keep their lab in par with everything else. And maybe it'll help put the emphasis like, oh hey, I want to keep my lab going so I can use my lab assistant every single day. So maybe it kind of helps offset some of those issues we're seeing where the laboratory is the last thing to be maxed on the base. So I don't know. I think there's multiple benefits just aside from his time reductions as well.
yeah. Just from like the gaming like psychology perspective, it does give you a reason to log in every day. The way it is now, you if you have I don't have free builders for 4 days and my storages are full, you're logging in for war maybe, unless your heroes are down. But now you have a reason to open that game every single day too. So I think that's a large
Now
part
you're
of
getting
it.
into the bigger picture, Rick. Now you're
Yeah,
thinking like a developer.
yeah. I know, like all these like Slack conversations that I've witnessed and had arguments in, it's starting to soak in after 3 years. But
People playing the game is a good thing. Even if they're just logging on to press that button each day, maybe they do something else. Maybe they take a look in that shop and they see those off. That's a good thing. Maybe they put in code bash. Shameless plug.
like I was not complaining about the pressure to log in daily. I don't think I've rarely missed days. Like there's been days where I'm traveling or out in the woods or whatever, but pretty much daily login is not a problem for old Rick here. What is annoying is that like I don't know with the builder apprentice, it bugs me like I need to set an alarm to make sure I have it available every day and every morning because if I miss it or I forget it, it screws up my routine and the timing's off and it bugs me. Small, but that's a personal problem.
I
Right.
just like the speculation that you're a serial killer traveling around the woods.
Well, yeah, it is out in the woods killing stuff. Just deer
Yeah.
and whatever, deer and turkeys.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Quote unquote deer. Yeah, I mean, but with the
he was
apprentice
wearing
builder,
a
like
brown
it's not
coat.
the
It's not
end of
my
the
fault.
world if you don't get him at the right time. I've noticed. Like obviously you do want to get that investment back, but if you intend on playing Clash for any length of time, more than one town hall, you're gonna get your investment back, even if it's just a couple of levels, just because over time. And I think like what I like about what they set up with this town hall, with the hero hall and everything, is they really set the future up really nice, where they can add in 2, 3, 4 more heroes, a new hero at every town hall if they want. Which I think that sets us up really nicely for a lot of creative things and maybe, hopefully, a strong, bright future. I mean, we're all optimistic the Clash goes on forever. Well, at least I am because it's my job.
Yeah,
But um, I think if you're a Clash fan, you enjoy the game and you want the game to be strong and successful moving forward.
My only concern is just too many heroes to upgrade. That is my only concern is that we'll just have so many heroes that we need to be working on every single town hall.
Yeah, but like now we can get away with. I don't even want to say the word because I don't like it personally, but if you do want to rush one of your heroes that you're not using as much, now it's a little bit more forgiving as well.
Oh yeah.
But then, is that not encouraging? Is that not doing the thing where players get stuck on one strategy because they just don't upgrade certain heroes and therefore don't
What I
use
don't
certain
think a lot
attacks?
of people realize, like people like us, I don't think what we realize about more casual players, and I'm not saying this offensively, but they are going to use their favorite attack strategy. They are less likely to branch out when they find something that works because it is there's a big barrier of entry to learning a new attack. Unless you're going externally, going and watching YouTube videos, looking for those new strategies, a lot of those players aren't going to have that huge desire. So they're going to find something. Some of these players might not ever even use the Minion Prince just because they're so used to using what they use and they're afraid of trying something different.
There's so many people out there who treat Clash like we treat Clash like a strategy game that has Heyday or Farmville style progression, to get us to new levels and new strategies. But there's a whole heck of a lot of people who treat it like a Farmville, where it's like, oh, I'm gonna build my village and upgrade, and then there's this side component of strategy attacking that I can get into, but it's largely optional.
And to be fair, I know friends who are like my friends who play Clash of Clans like very occasionally. Like the reason they quit is because once the upgrades get long, there's nothing to do. They don't consider that like attacking, at least for me, it's like the main fun bit, and then you upgrade stuff on the side. I mean, to them it's there's long upgrade times. What do I do now?
So I before we move on to all the Town Hall 17 stuff, I do want to point out time sensitive thing. If you drop your heroes soon and they are upgrading during the update, as soon as the update hits, all those upgrades, the hero upgrades, are automatically finished. If you put 4 heroes down right before the update, 4 free hero books. And then also go and dig up the chart for what level hero haul you're getting and see if it makes sense to book or gem, especially during Hammer Jam, any heroes completed to get you into like a higher hero haul threshold. So if you can get even one hero up to the next hero haul threshold level, that's 10 extra levels of Minion Prince that you're going to get. So, at best, you can use one hero book. Like if you book your level 80 queen to 81, that's going to give you 1 extra level of hero haul, and that's going to give you 10 extra levels of Minion Prince. So go check out that chart, do the math soon, and yeah, you might get a 10 for 1 deal on a hero book.
That's a pretty good point there.
Yeah. Now let's talk Town Hall 17. Now that we're 45 minutes in, 17.
Finally.
Yeah, I know.
Wait, 17? I thought we were just getting a new hero.
Oh yeah, I know. Like overall bash, we've had the hard Town Hall at 15. We've had the easy Town Hall at 16. Where do you think 17 lands?
I mean, it's still early, obviously, and I think when we played 16 last year, we were like, "Oh my god, this is gonna be so easy." I mean, maybe we did because I remember saying on my very first attack at Town Hall 16, "Wow, I 3-starred this base at my very first attack." So maybe there was that, but for me, and I'm sure we're gonna talk about it. We've already brought it up a little bit. I think the supercharges actually help a little bit, like with the DPS on the base. I think the new defense is really nice. I think the upgrades that we got are really good. I don't think it's too easy right out the gate because you got to remember that people are going to have to, upgrade troops, upgrade units. I think it's going to be a pretty nice balance out of the gate. I mean, heroes are already so strong in the base. We get 5 new levels. We get a brand new revive spell. So that is going to make things a little bit easier offensively. But at the end of the day, I'm hoping that it's not just a cakewalk where we're just seeing people face roll bases again.
I guess the only thing about heroes which might have an impact in not making them too strong is that equipment aren't getting any levels, so that
Right.
might be more noticeable in terms of the strength of heroes currently.
Yeah, I mean, 5 new levels is great, but you're right. Like the abilities aren't getting upgraded, which is good. Should help, not increase that power too much. But I mean, ultimately, like when obviously we have a small group that tests these things and plays with these things. When it gets out to the wider majority, we'll see a bigger picture of things. Like when we start seeing, especially like the pro players, what they're doing and some of those strategies catching on to the wider audience. I think that's when we'll get a real feel of how easy, hard, in the middle Town Hall 17 is actually going to be.
Yeah, I'm predicting a nerf in dragons already.
No, like the dragons are the only things that got levels. It's like once everything gets leveled up, more defense wise, like the effectiveness, the dragons are gonna feel OP for weeks. Like it, obviously because we're all gonna have potions and stuff. But once everything gets leveled up, like dragons get, they feel a little more balanced.
I do think we will start to see, because we're kind of on a ground bow meta, I think we'll start to see that shift back to an air bow meta as well.
You're gonna have to.
That'll help with the dragons.
Yeah, air hero, mostly air troops. Like, there's not a whole lot of new ground stuff. Like, I don't know that anyone's really gonna do super giants that got a new level.
I don't know, man. I ran super giants with the thrower and it was pretty good.
Like super giant thrower, I think it's doable. Super giant, super whiz. I've seen like trample. I've been watching trample replays, and I think he's coming out with stuff. So I don't want to steal all his thunder. Like it's doable. Dragons feel better to me.
Yeah, but you got to get out of that single attack strategy pigeonhole and get creative, Rick. Why wouldn't you use ground troops even in an air meta? Why would you not use ground?
I've been shooting 8 fireballs a day since May or April, whenever it was. Like I'm ready for little dragons back in my life. So I'm kind of welcoming that.
I've always been resistant to the dragon meta. Like when dragons were huge at Town Hall 14, I refused to play dragons just because everyone in my clan was.
Yeah, I think I just tried to do Lalo at that point. I was not.
Whoa! I'm not that
dragons.
stupid.
All right. Okay. Let's stick offense. So revive spell, game changer. No. How do you feel about it?
Yes. Just yes. Like getting the fact that I think everyone's saying like, oh, thrower's gonna get nerfed, dragons are gonna get nerfed. I think revive spell is gonna get nerfed. 75% health on a queen, and if she goes down and she has healers on her, you instantly get her back up healing. That is insane, dude. Like how are we allowing this?
A second permanence queen.
Making it a percentage too, like makes it absolutely wild on the king. I've had a hard time wrapping my head around how I'm gonna use it too. Like, as it feels like a just in case spell, and I don't.
Feels like, should you take it with every attack?
Yes, I kind of like just having it in there as a utility. It's like having 2 freezes, just wherever you're gonna need them on the base. Whatever hero might need it, whether it's a queen, whether it's a minion prince, whether it's a king with a vamp stash. I see that in the chat. Like, there's so many different things that can help you with this utility. So 3-star base. Like I don't know. I think the revive spell is absolutely insane. It's like giving everyone a phoenix at any given time.
Also, can't you revive a hero several times? Like if they die once?
Yeah, you could keep reviving the queen.
If your hero died because it's in just like a dead zone of DPS, like it's gonna pop back up, and if you do it too fast, it's still gonna be taking all that DPS right away. You can probably outweight a rage spell or a poison spell from a spell tower. Let some troops catch up and get ahead and stuff. So there's strategy to when to use it. I know I am not a creative enough, a skilled enough player to use it in an intentional way. Like, it would be a backup, just in case kind of thing. I don't really like that as a concept, but maybe I just need to get some reps in on it,
Yeah, but it's also like one of those things, like, is that better than bringing 2 freezes or another rage spell? I guess that's like something that people are going to have to decide as well, like how strong things are and how the meta develops. Is it better to maybe bring back a hero some point in the attack, or is it better just to plow right on through that base and go for the 3-star right out the gate? Kind of like what you're saying, like no backup plan there. I don't know. It's definitely an interesting concept, and it's definitely strong. But you're right. It is 2 out of the 11 housing space. Well, I guess 2 out of the 14 total housing space. Which, I mean, it's a decent commitment for something you might not even use.
People swag spells. Like I've been swagging stuff at 16 the whole time. Revive is, I think, just wait and see kind of thing. How do you feel about the throwers?
I didn't get to play them as much as I wanted to because I got to test them a little bit, but that's when my PC issues were really kind of in
Okay,
full
yeah,
effect.
yeah,
So I
yeah.
didn't get to like my plan was to like just play with the thrower all day that day, and then didn't happen because my PC just died on me. I threw them in a couple of attacks. I feel like that range that they have was 6 tiles or so. Like that's a really nice range for them. It helps give a little bit of extra length on an attack, and I think that's something they can kind of counter, so you don't have to be stuck in that air meta. I think there's a lot of things, and I didn't get to test it personally, but I saw someone talking about using throwers in a blimp like we would use super archers or super wizards, and that being super effective. So I think these guys are going to have a lot of utility in
Yeah.
different attacks. Even if you want to go like thrower blimp into dragons, even.
The nice thing with throwers in a blimp too is you just because they're 2200 HP roughly, so you just ignore giant bombs and it's whatever.
Yeah, they're beefy.
Yeah, I know CC 55 True Space CC. That's super nice. That's three Yetis. Blizzard is back on the menu with 5 Super Wiz and a whole lot of filler, 4 Super Wiz and a realistic amount of filler. There's a lot of CC options.
Yeah, the 55 spaces. Yeah, I mean, even defensively, like there's so many different things you can run in there, and that'll be interesting to keep an eye on of what that meta becomes for the CC, offensive and defensive, because it definitely does open. Like we can run 3 Yetis now on offense. Like that's so strong. Like you can really just
Yeah.
take out a section of the base with a Yeti battle blimp. You know?
Especially against the Town Hall that no longer has the Giga Bomb and poison. 3 Yetis can take out the Town Hall and extra stuff instead of
Yeah.
our 2 Yetis doing the Town Hall and then dying.
Let's talk about like the town hall. It feels very strong, but also we don't have an eagle, and you can put the gigabomb anywhere you want on the base. Like, what's the initial reaction? Is that to me, I'm very skeptical personally, just because of exactly what we said. I think blimp meta is going to be the thing. I think almost every attack, whether it's ground, air, left, right, I think every attack is going to run a Yeti blimp meta, and we're going to start to see the old tornado bait at the town hall be essential.
Yeah, I mean they've definitely made the Gigabomb just objectively weaker by making it this, separate from the town halls. There's now less risk.
The problem is that it's visible at all times, so you
Yeah.
can plan around it.
And you could even bait it. You could even bait it if you were clever enough to do it. And I mean, I'm sure base builders will find ways to make it extremely difficult for you to do so. But you can find a way to make it less detrimental to your main army, which you can't really do for the town hall. You had to use something. You were either willing to use a lot of spells or the Eternal Tome to protect, or use something which you were willing to let die. That's not really the case anymore.
Yeah, I'm very skeptical about it. I think getting more damage on the base is good, but also we took away. Like I get why we don't have the eagle. It makes a ton of sense, but also like how many times we're like activating that eagle and you're going in and that eagle's just beating. Like how many times were attacks going right at the eagle because it was such a threat? So I think like there's a big like offset there where we lose that heavy hitting defense. We do get a very more powerful town hall, but also the town hall is definitely more destructible now and definitely the highest priority on the base. I think obviously the base building meta is going to have to catch up, and we're going to have to find ways. But I already see like YOLO blimps from across the base with dragons, kind of what we saw at Town Hall 14 being a really big thing.
All right, let me interrupt here for a second too. We're getting towards the end. We're still going to talk a little bit about 17, but if you guys have questions for Bash, questions about the update, personal questions, whatever, go ahead. You ask them in the chat. You probably see examples of other people doing it, but type !ask, then ask a question. It's going to react with a little check mark, and then that puts it on a spreadsheet for us. Just to keep organized so we can go through questions easier later. But we kind of got sidetracked off the thrower there for a second too. I know Bash, you said you didn't test out the thrower too much. Like I did. It feels not weak. I don't think it's going to be huge in the meta right away. I don't know, like I did like fireball into thrower stuff. I've used it as like a bit of a baby drag, like a ground baby drag. It can do that role well if it's not taking a lot of damage on a corner. Behind super giants, behind golems and titans, I don't know. It feels kind of flexible, but nothing really stands out right away. So that's another one I think needs just the brute force of the whole community out there figuring something out.
Yeah, it's a tough one, and I think everyone's gonna be fascinated with the air stuff. But I think there's a lot of potential there for that
Yeah.
troop. Whether even if it's just a utility troop or if it is just the main part of an army, or I guess like behind some tanks. I think there's definitely some potential there. I don't think it's going to be something that's going to be useless. We've seen in the past where the expectation maybe is that, oh yeah, this thing isn't overwhelming or it isn't like crazy broken, so we won't see it. And then like someone comes up with a strategy, and then everyone's using that strategy. So I guess that's like a time will tell type of deal for me
Yeah.
personally.
Yeah, that's where I feel. On the defense side of the house too, between fire spitters, merges, Gigabomb, Town Hall itself, like what do you feel are the game changers, the priorities for people out there looking at what they're going to upgrade on defense come update day?
I wish the fire spitter wasn't directional. I feel like that limits it, but I also think that that's going to dictate how attacks are going to go as well, because I think that's going to play into baiting town halls, like baiting entries a lot more, because you are going to try to avoid those fire spitters. So therefore, you're more susceptible to being baited into falling into a tornado or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I think that weapon is very, very strong. The fire spitter, that is. I think it's I don't know. I was pretty impressed with how much damage it can output. I'm just disappointed at the limited range that it has. I think the town hall is insane. I think getting that up to level 5 is going to be a huge priority. I mean, it could just deal out so much damage. For me personally, I mean, if I obviously I do my spending sprees, we all know that. But like on my other accounts, my other 16s, I'm going to take to 17. I think like air defense is going to be really, really huge. Air defense multi archer tower, with if everyone's correct in predicting an air meta, like I think you have to get those done right out the gate and kind of try to counter that the best you can. Obviously, unlocking all the new stuff is good. Upgrading your lab, upgrading your spell factory. But I don't think like spell factory is even going to be essential. Like I don't think revive is right out
Yeah.
the gate. It's going to be like, oh my god, we got to have a revive. I think it's going to be really cool. I'm very excited for the revive, but I think you can play without it and be just fine as well. And then the supercharges, man, do you worry about upgrading everything or do you supercharge? Like, do we want to have
oh
the
my
super?
God.
Do we have time for the
Yeah.
supercharge discussion,
Yeah.
Rick?
Well, you like I got time. I don't know what you have time for. So, but
we could dabble a little bit.
okay, supercharges. I absolutely hate that every new thing is coming supercharged. Supercharges were, in my opinion, an amazing addition to the end of Town Hall 16 because they addressed balance. They gave max players something to do that didn't feel like a waste of time. Obviously we know we're going to lose them. They kind of hinted they might not all go away. By the way, none of them are going away. If you have anything supercharged, you're not losing a single supercharge. It felt like an awesome tool they had in the toolbox to adjust balance, give us something to do down the line, and, to apply with a light touch. And instead, they're like, no, let's make everyone upgrade everything 3 times. And I don't get why. I don't understand it.
Yeah, I agree. I thought the idea of them was a loop dump at near the end of a town hall when you had nothing else to do, not something you need to be thinking about right away at the start alongside upgrading just stuff normally.
Yeah. I mean, Rick already knows I feel
Yeah.
the same way. I was under that same impression as like when supercharged were introduced. To me, it was presented as, yeah, this is a little bit late, but also like kind of where it's at. It's a good point where if players need something to do, because we all get to that point where we're in July, August, September, and we get an update, and it's like, oh, there wasn't a lot in this update. But what if we had 3 buildings, maybe 3 different defenses that needed supercharged, and that's like, 20 buildings, maybe not 20 buildings, maybe that's 15 buildings. It gives you that little bit of extra stuff, especially like mid-season. I guess we'll have to see how it plays out, because I'm assuming the intention is to supercharge the entire base. But
I don't want it, man.
which also means you have to remember, like, if we get which we will get new levels to scatter shots and infernos. We're definitely going to get new levels to that stuff. We're going to have to re-supercharge them. So I mean, it's not like there's not going to be stuff to do, but also I kind of wish like we didn't get those supercharges right now, and like maybe we got them in whatever the next update would be, an April update or whatever.
Yeah, like seeing it from day one, I know that's hey, maybe this is my own expectations betraying me, but I had the expectation that supercharges were, hey, a thing to implement selectively, because we've all heard a bunch of times that like they regret the double levels at Town Hall 12. It's punishing to newer players. It extends the life of things. It has follow-on effects for years, and supercharges are a way to avoid that, but still give us stuff to do towards the end of a town hall. And I'm focusing on towards the end of the town hall, and I don't know, it's disappointing to see, like, hey, even if I have a ton of books, a ton of hammers, that's not finishing a defense for me, because the supercharges, I'd never even bother to look at the cost. I assume they're still short and cheap relative to the actual level.
Yeah, they're not bad.
Is all it is just a nerf to magic items? That's, maybe I'm being too cynical here, but it's the only explanation I can think of or that I've heard that makes sense. And that's not heard from an official source or anything. Don't read too much in my words, but I'm just disappointed.
Obviously I wish that, the argument is that there's not a ton of stuff coming out, so like supercharging them isn't going to be the end of the world. Also, the supercharge has to come eventually anyway, so why not have it for longer? Eventually. Yeah, why not have it for longer? But like the point that you and I discussed and talked about is like, if the supercharges are there from day one, essentially that's the new max. It's not supercharged, it's not optional.
Yeah.
For a Town Hall 16 player going to Town Hall 17, that's the new max level. That's how I'm looking at it. If I want to max the defense, I have to supercharge it.
Like, this is my favorite dumb comment that I've had on Reddit in the last week too. Is a couple days ago I said, like, plus I don't like the lightning effect over the entire base, because it makes it hard to pick out what's supercharged and what isn't. I don't know if there's any significant breakpoints on supercharges, but if there are, being able to pick them out becomes important. And then someone said, if you don't like it, just don't do it. They're optional anyway. And like, in the same way that every upgrade is optional, I guess. But if you want, like, I'll just choose to not defend well because I don't like the aesthetics of something. I don't know.
If you don't like the look of Town Hall 17, just to upgrade.
Yeah, Rick, stay at 16.
I do like that the Justice scenery matches super well with the max Town Hall 17 look.
Yeah, but then that's the same thing as what you're just saying. That also like gets you into I have to stay with the Justice scenery if I want it to match and look aesthetically good. I bought a $33 scenery that now I got to use Justice.
Like a lot of people still have the Shadow scenery stashed away somewhere. I think
Shadow's good.
I think it looks real solid with the Shadow too. All right, is there anything else we need to hit Town Hall 17 before we get into questions?
Oh, I'm sure we missed much.
Probably like it is. There is a lot. There's a lot to this update. There is so much.
Yeah. Well, it's just mostly like there's so many changes. There's so much new stuff. There's so much difference coming to the game. So I think it's all good for sure. And we could definitely sit here and probably talk for 6 hours. Nothing major stands out to me that we missed. I think we covered everything pretty well.
Oh, Liam, I might have messed up all the questions. Oh crap!
I know.
I was deleting
I said
them.
the bot is broken.
Oh,
no!
right.
Thanks for asking questions. Rick deleted them all. Great seeing you all. Bye.
I was deleting the dumb ones, and then the bot autofills the spreadsheet from the top again.
Dang. The dumb ones? Who asked a dumb one? Give us an example.
Well, mostly Big B. I'll call you by name. Most of the dumb ones I deleted were Big B, you specifically. All right, so
I thought the dumb ones were the ones where they just put question mark ask and then leave it blank. They don't even ask a question. That's
yeah. Also those, like, I know, like, we're not gonna go through piece by piece and tell you what hero haul you're gonna get. You guys can go find a chart and figure that out yourself.
I posted the chart in the chat also.
Oh, nice.
That's probably long gone, but
you're like the best producer of this podcast. All right.
I am.
What? Okay. Krishna PK7. What happens to this Destroy Eagle Artillery achievement? Will the town hall count towards it?
Oh, but
Ooh.
how would you? Oh,
Do you know this one,
interesting.
Dash?
Because could you, in theory?
Hold on. So yeah, because we merged the town hall with the eagle, right?
Right. So
What
if
is
you
that
don't have
achievement
that
called?
completed, it's going to become harder. if you go to
Anti-artillery. I'm gonna go test it right now, Dad.
17. No, well, you don't need to because I know the answer.
Oh, okay.
Destroying the town hall does not count towards the achievement. So consider that if you are like if you're not rushed, it's not a problem. But if you are rushed and still have that achievement to do, you're gonna have to dip town hall 16s to finish it.
Hmm.
All right.
That's not something I took into account there.
Can we use heroes in war and legends when upgrading under the new system?
Yes.
Wait, no, you're
No.
wrong, dude. You are wrong. I just tested it and it counted.
Petri said no, it doesn't. But
I just tested it. I just physically tested it.
anything to prove me wrong, dude. That they changed in the last second. He did say
I was curious and I was like, no shot, that's actually a thing.
like I'm like his quote was like, no, it doesn't count. I went and checked it myself. So
Oh wait, no, I lied. I
Oh.
lied.
Okay.
That was the town hall. That was the town hall 16.
Oh, come on, Dash.
Wait, I forgot what we were doing here. Where are we?
town
What is this?
17.
Okay, hold on. I just destroyed a town hall 17. Let me check it.
All right, yeah, you're gonna have to give me the clean edit there to be like, yes, Rick, you are correct. I can confirm. Thank you, sir.
Yes, Rick, you are correct. I'm just a big noob and forgot what we were doing and what I was
Awesome.
testing.
Okay. Will we still see
I'm
heroes?
so dumb sometimes.
Will we still see heroes walking around the base while not attacking and defending? Yes. Also cool. Like I had to figure this out like an hour ago. The way that you set heroes up defending is those little flags. In the same way that if you don't have a clan, your little clan castle statue like loses its flag. You have 4 little hero banner poles that are blank, and then you select it on each individual layout which defending heroes you want. Still only 4 defending heroes. If you had to guess, what is the first nerf to happen?
I don't think we see anything as broken as Root Riders were, personally.
No.
First nerf. I still say revive spell.
Yeah, like 70, because originally it was like 50, and then it got buffed up. 50 didn't feel like it really helped the weaker heroes, the lower HP heroes, I'll say. And 75 feels like a lot too. I know.
Yeah.
Best pet for the Minion Prince.
Since he's air, I think you could go a couple different routes. I think if you're sending him with the main army, obviously Electro Owl is going to make a lot of sense, but also if you're using Warden, you're going to want to have Electro Owl. But also I've seen like Angry Jelly being used by people and that being very successful. So I think those are going to be the 2 primary ones right off the bat, just because they're going to support him the best.
Yeah. At that Town Hall 14, you're going to use you missed your chance to make fun of me and call it the bat. But yeah, the owl. No, that was from last year. That was our last year podcast when I called the owl the bat.
I don't remember these things. I
clowned
barely
on
remember
me.
that you
clowned on me
I was
real
with
hard
you last year.
on that one. Yeah, like the owl at 14, at 15, probably still the owl. Yeah, and then you get into like Phoenix and Jelly. Yeah. Okay, I agree there.
Yeah, I think Phoenix is an interesting one for sure, and we've seen like Phoenix on Warden be successful, so I think Phoenix on Minion Prince could be really successful too at times.
Okay, will there be reductions for the cost of ore?
Doubt it.
LOL is the answer to that. I wish.
Unlikely.
I mean, if we're being realistic about it, no.
Unless we complain enough about it, then
Oh yeah, because people haven't complained enough.
Yeah. No one said anything about all. It's very well received, I thought.
Well, one thing we also need to take into account, like everyone's saying, like Dark Orb's going to be broken first thing nerfed. You also have to remember your Dark Orb is going to be level 1 initially, so you're going to have to level it up. So it's
Yeah.
going to take a while
Yeah.
for us to even get that true feel for the masses.
Yeah, that was a good point. You also reminded me too. Legends League loot is going up only a little bit. I think it's like 7,500 DE up from 6,500, and 500,000 or a million golden elixir. I don't know, but it's not going up a ton. So if you really want out of Legends League to farm hard, the reset is tonight. So
Probably tonight.
Yeah.
Too late.
Yeah,
I haven't attacked all week trying to drop out of Legends, and I'm still not out of Legends.
Yeah, there's no reason for that, dude. Because like we're all dropping to 5,000 in 12 hours, so you could have attacked all week.
Yeah, but I guess I didn't take that into account.
Yeah,
so I forgot about that.
All right. Here's a question. Do we need to upgrade the lab to get max troops for the town hall upgrade boost? Yeah, that's the way that's always worked.
No, I thought it was town hall based now.
Oh, is it? Yes.
Yeah. Is it not? I thought it was based on your town hall level.
I know hero potions.
I think it changed.
Yeah, there is. If anyone has questions about hero potions, because now hero level's tied to the hero hall, and hero potions have always worked off town hall level. Hero potions still work off town hall level, so it's not like a long term.
Right, hold on a second. I'll test this one right now.
Yeah.
Then again, I wouldn't count on me because I'm not the most reliable on these things. All right, let me upgrade my eagle.
No, Hawkeye says it is the town hall, and I trust Hawkeye.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's the change that was made. But oh wait, it wants me to upgrade my clan castle. Not doing that. Sorry.
Okay, this guy says, well, we're looking that up. I finished my supercharge upgrades and did not get the achievement. That's being fixed. That's in the bug fixes.
Did we talk about bug fixes? Were they important enough?
Was there anything like significant in there?
Nothing stood out to me.
Yeah, nothing that like I know. Like treasure chests. The treasure chest one is one that I don't know people know was a bug, but you will be able to like sell if you get a potion or whatever out of a treasure chest. It goes to the temporary storage, the button on the bottom. So those will like sell and use correctly from the temporary storage. So even if you have excess items in your town hall magic item storage, you'll be able to use the ones you got in the chest. So that's nice.
Yeah. I believe it's town hall level. I can't get it to work right, so
We'll just trust Hawkeye.
Is it going to be Is it going to be worth merging right away?
What, merging the town hall?
Or the new
the
cannon?
defenses?
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
I think we saw how impact. Like we were all
Yeah.
skeptical last year. I don't think there's a question now.
Yeah. No, they're strong. They're really strong.
Yeah, I'm more excited about merging an additional cannon and Archer Tower than I am about like my fire spitters really. And then the added benefit too of merging those and going them dropping them up a level 2 is it screws with fireballs. You'll need to bring an extra quake to destroy those ones now. Which if you're used to hard mode, it's not a big transition, but for us mere mortals, it's gonna take some adjustment.
Mere mortals.
Minion Prince skins coming.
I mean, I'm sure eventually.
Money is money. Money needs to be made.
I guess it's so early that we might see more Minion Prince skins than Royal Champion skins moving forward, because you get them so early in the game.
Oh yeah, true.
Because that was always the thing, is like, the Royal Champion doesn't have, or is later in the game, so not as many people have her. But Minion Prince is Town Hall 9. Everyone's gonna have him right away.
Will future hero skins get older skin sets? This one we don't know. Marco, the community manager, did express to me some interest in completing sets that were not completed. No specific plans or timelines, but if they are interested in doing complete sets, I would imagine eventually that gets at least a few of them for the minion.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah. Do you worry about town hall irrelevancy? I'm assuming he means lower town halls. Or
it's already a thing. Like,
yeah, it could be. Or like he might have also meant like the weakening of the town hall on defense.
well, I mean, it's already where we talked about the good old days of Town Hall 9. Town Hall 9 doesn't matter anymore. No disrespect to Town Hall 9. I miss
And
you.
it's sad.
But it's just a stepping stool at this point. As far as like the town hall not being a factor, I think the town hall is going to be more of a factor than ever, just because it is such a strong weapon now. And I think most attacks are going to have to plan for it. So I don't think it's going to be irrelevant. I think it's going to be more relevant than ever, and actually one of the biggest focal points when you're planning an attack, if that was the point.
I am wondering, like, the town hall is easier to take down. You know, I definitely wouldn't call it irrelevant at all. But it is, it's you have to approach it differently now. And I'm wondering how much that really changes base design, layouts. You know,
Do you
like,
remember like when blimp meta was the thing at Town Hall 14, and if you hit that tornado, you missed, and like you missed
Yeah,
bad?
yeah,
I think
game
like
over.
going back to that could really be a difference maker for the game. Like also that meta was very easy, but at the same time, if you hit that blimp, you were the guy to miss, and it was really hard to recover.
Yeah, like, do you think it's gonna be harder to bait blimps? Like, now that we have like a visible gigabomb that's separate from the town hall. In a lot of ways, that feels like that's going to telegraph the tornado location. I think you would want the tornado either positioned to spin troops into the gigabomb or protecting the other side of the town hall. You know, like spitter location's gonna, like you already talked about the way the spitter direction is gonna affect attack angles. But I don't know. There's a lot of cool stuff for base builders.
What if it's easier to bait because now we have sweepers, we have spitters that are all directional. It's almost easier to get someone to go the way you want them to
Yeah,
avoid that spitter hits hard, man. And
Yeah.
trying to avoid it is definitely gonna be a thing. I still think there's times where we're gonna see kind of what we see with the sweepers, like, one facing inward, one facing outward type of deal to cover as much area as possible. But also, like some of the bases I was attacking where it has them facing away from the town hall, for instance, you could definitely see that bait coming in more.
Like the return of the southern teaser, kind of style of base.
Yeah.
Where everything's pointed right there. I don't know. Like, I'm looking forward to seeing how layouts go, because it feels like I've been attacking the same 3 bases for an entire year now. All right, I think that about wraps it up. Unless you guys have any final things you want to hit on.
I mean, I think we covered everything pretty well. I mean, obviously without dragging out the topics we covered, because we obviously could.
I know, like 2 minutes after I stopped the recording, I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, we missed this enormous thing.
Yeah, remember that thing we were supposed to talk about? You told me?
Oh, remember Town 17?
Like, yeah, I think we got it all. Thank you, Bash, for joining us again, 3rd time.
Always, buddy.
Yeah, these town hall ones are always huge, man, and it's a blast talking with you. Everyone else, use code BASH. I'll say it for you so you don't have to feel like a shill, but definitely there's gonna.
Oh, he's already done it earlier. He feels no shame.
There's gonna be packs. There's gonna be upgrade packs. I think there's one that I'm gonna consider buying. We probably can't say which one, but there's a little something for everyone if you're looking to spend and get a jump start on Town Hall 17. You are. What time are you going live for your spree tomorrow?
I never go live. Everyone always has this perception that I go live. I've never.
Oh yeah, it's not live.
The only time I went live for an upgrade spree was when Builder Hall was introduced.
Man, okay.
There's always this perception that I live stream it, but I literally never live stream it.
I know I'm a terrible friend and fan, and I feel bad.
No, it's not you. I mean, like, viewers of the channel think the same thing. Like, what time are you going live? Like, I don't. I'm going live tonight to upgrade some walls before Hammer Jam ends, but yeah, I won't be live in the morning.
See, you're just that good, Bash, that you have that reputation.
But is it a good reputation when it's something I never did?
Well, yeah, it means people think you're way better than you actually are, right?
That's true. I mean, people think I'm way better. That's so accurate, man. Like, people it's wild. Like Rick, like saying that, like, I did a good job casting. Like, what a nerd.
No, man, I'm happy for you, dude. Just like, accept the compliment, accept the love. Okay.
I know, buddy. I know.
Yeah, I know, man. Like, you crushed the worlds again. I said it earlier, dude. I was so happy to see this, to see that you got the call. I think you crushed it. I didn't watch you. I heard you because I was there live. But like, I'm sure on camera you weren't all cross-eyed and weird.
I was very. Yeah. You could tell, like, I was a little bit anxious because, like, I didn't know where to look, and like I was jittering with my pen the whole time. So you could definitely tell that I was anxious.
Yeah, it was good, man. Like, I could hear you. You were having fun. You said some funny stuff. You failed my challenge to work in something dirty.
I scripted it. I just forgot. That's the hard thing is like, you can come up with things and then like you forget in the heat of the moment, That's like when I do these spinning spree videos, I always have a plan and then the plan goes out the window after like 4 upgrades.
And you had the perfect chance too. Like I saw there was that one star in the final day, and I'm like, dude, I grabbed trample and I'm like, this is it. It's coming. It's coming right now. Yeah, you can't get everything you want.
Sorry.
No, it was cool. No, I was like, yeah, you worked in a boom goes the dynamite. Like I laughed. That was pretty good.
Like with the fireball meta, like that's my goal with every broadcast. And then like towards the end, I thought I was overdoing it, like with Snapdragon, so I didn't throw it in the Snapdragon at the end. But yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, no, I heard the Dumb and Dumber quote. That was a good one.
The cheesy movie quotes always work for me.
I know. I don't even know if Sam would have recognized that.
What was the reference?
So you're saying there's a chance. Classic movie.
That sounds familiar.
It was Dumb and Dumber.
I have watched Dumb and Dumber before. I just not in ages though. So yeah, I should have got it. At least that's something.
That's something.
We're gonna cut it off here, so everyone say bye.
Hold on, end the recording, and then I have some questions for you.
Yeah. Gonna get spicy. I don't know.
It's not Clash related,
Okay.
so I don't want it to be on the podcast.
I don't know how to actually end the recording, so we always just end the stage channel. But
Can you just stop?
Well, I just wanted to talk football and ask you your picks of the week on every game.
Oh.
So if you want that on the game,
I think we've got /stop for that.
You can just edit it out, Vic.
That is true.
You're good.
Well, I can't give away gambling advice to kids.